Namaste. Thank you for joining me for an aerial yoga class. I'm assuming that you've done aerial before, so you're happy with setting up your rig and getting the sling hung and up to the right height. If you're not sure of that and you're new to aerial yoga, please check out the video on setting up your equipment. Okay, let's get ourselves started. So sitting comfortably on the floor in front of your sling, just come to check in with the body, taking a couple of deep, full breaths. Feel yourself lifting that air to the crown of the head, opening up the height in the body and opening the chest. Take another 2 rounds of breath. And on the second exhale, let your chin close into your chest. Slowly open the eyes. Take the hands to the top of your knees. Reach the crown of the head forward. Roll the shoulders back and start to find the length on the back of your neck. And then slowly lifting your gaze, looking up to the roof, pushing the chin high and noticing the stretch on the skin of the throat. There, bringing the chin down to horizontal. Turning to look over your right shoulder. Pull your eyes into the corner of the eye sockets and try and see the ground behind you. And then release around to the other side. Same again, get the eyes to work and help the movement. Good, soften, come back around to straight. Reach both arms out to the side. Find as much length through the arms as you can and push the hands away from each other. So the arms line up with the shoulders. Good. Roll your thumbs back, turn the palms to the sky, and then roll the thumbs up over the top and under, trying to turn the palms skyward again. Notice here if your shoulders want to creep up to your ears, try and keep the shoulders soft, but keep the elbows high. Get thumbs back up to the sky, reach behind you and gently squeeze the shoulder blades together, taking the hands as far back as you can, and then softening them around to the front, bringing the elbows to touch the whole length of your forearm, palms and fingers touching. Push the fingers skyward, and then reach the elbows forward, rounding into your shoulders as much as you can. Good. Soften the hands down onto your knees, lean the body forward, and just gently rotating to the right, roll back. Look to bring some movement into your back, into the lower back. And then the next time you're around to the front, pause there, lift your gaze, bring the heart forward, and then change direction. Going the other way in that circle, and just feeling the release and loosening up of the spine. One more round, and then come to stop, lifting the heart forward, lifting the gaze, and release. Come back up to the top. Okay, diving into your sling, so reaching back into the sling. Keep the legs crossed for the moment. Give full length to your arms. Gently pull the knees down towards the floor to find the release on the inner thighs. If you're happy to let the head drop back, open up into the throat, open the chest. Good. Lifting your head, bring yourself up to the top, bring the feet comfortably onto the mat. Take a little shift back. Open the feet to the side of the mat, supporting yourself with your hands and working with breath. Inhale at the top as you exhale. Drop the knees down to the right. Inhale them up. Exhale them to the left. Inhale and exhale. If you want to lean back onto long arms, you can let the body drop back a little. And just keep the legs floating from side to side. The next time you're down on the right-hand side, adjust a little, try and bring both knees down to the floor and turn your gaze over your right shoulder, looking down to the floor. And inhaling, come up to the top. Exhale down to the other side. This time gaze over that left shoulder down to the floor. And then soften. Come back up to the top. Bring your feet comfortably onto the floor. Push the knees slightly forward. Lift the hips. Let the head drop back. If you want to rest the crown of your head on the floor, you can. Just keep working the hips up towards the roof. Okay, then lift the chin. Push the legs back. Bring yourself back to sit onto the floor. Release from the sling and just shake out into the hands and the fingers. Bringing your palms together, keep the fingers facing skyward. Draw the wrists down and lift the elbows, looking to find that release in the forearm and into the wrists. Then rolling your back of your hands to touch, lift the wrists and take the elbows down low. Again, releasing into the wrists and the forearms. And then shake it out into the fingers. Okay, again, coming into your sling from the front, lean back into it. Connect strongly with your feet. Open the legs just off to the side of the mat. Lift high into the chest and then push your hands forward. Bring the chest forward. Come to a forward fold. Keep the feet active so the toes are pulling back towards you. The heels are pushing away from you. Okay, then use your right hand to draw the body over to the right hand side. When that movement comes to an end, push that left hand away. Look to find the length down the left-hand side of the body. And you float down through center, over to the other side. Left hand pulls you over to the left. Right hand pushes away. Find that length on the side of the body again. Head soften. Back to center. Bring your legs together onto the mat. A little bit of a pull into the sling to lift the height into your back, and then push through your heel of the left foot and slowly lift that left foot. Bring your heel up to the height of the toes. The chest reaches forward, chin's up high. Hold it there. Good. Slowly softening. Let your foot come back down to the floor, working to the other side. Right leg pushes away, right leg lifts. Be aware of rolling back into the pose. Try and keep the heart lifted. Try and keep the back at right angles to your legs. Good. Release it on down. Okay, bring your feet towards you again. Line back into the sling. Push your weight forward and come up onto your feet. Squeeze the knees together. Reach the knees away from you so you can feel the length on the top of the thigh. And again, if you're happy to let the head drop back, release the head back, open up into the chest and the throat. Lifting the head. Push your way back again. Take your legs towards straight. Sitting down at the back of the mat now. Bring your feet right in close to you. Push the belly button back. Push the heart back. Tuck your chin into your chest. And round into your back as much as you can. Arms at full length. You're hanging through the arms up into the sling. And then slowly pull on the sling. Pull yourself up. Come up to sit onto your feet. Sit there for a moment. Just let the weight go through the soles of the foot, releasing into the toes. And then soften your way forward. Bring the knees down to the mat. Reach your hands forward. Let the palms face each other. Take the arms out to straight. And let your chin drop to your chest. And take a little bit more work into the arms. Lift yourself so you come up onto the knees. Trying to find a straight line from your hands to your shoulders to your hips and back to the knees. Come back, up onto the haunches, and slowly lift. Stand up to the top. Okay, release from the sling again. Take a little shake out into the hands through to the fingers. Stepping back from your sling, so we're arm's length away from the sling. Hold on to the sling and bring your left foot up, placing just the heel into the center of the sling. The foot that's on the floor, you'll see that wants to turn out to the side. Turn the toes back up so they're pointing out through the top of your mat. And then lift high into the chest and push your foot away from you, pushing the heel away but pulling the toes back towards you. Keeping the heart nice and high, keeping the back flat, keep your head up as you start to fold and let your hands slide down towards your foot. Keep looking forward. We want to keep the back as flat as we can for as long as we can. Each exhale taking you into the pose a little deeper. At the bottom, if there is room to work with, then gently pull back on the sling and pull that straight leg back into the hip. Yeah, nice work. Walk your hands back up, come up to the top. Take the right hand over to the left-hand side of the sling and pull the back of your hand against the sling. And then reach back with that left hand. Turn your gaze around to that left hand. Try and find the twist. When you're comfortable in the balance, then pull your right arm across your body. Take your leg across the body and you'll feel that stretch deepen as the leg goes over to the right-hand side. Yeah, nice work. Release from the twist. Back to the front. Take your hands onto the sling. Kick your leg through and catch the sling behind your knee. And then push up high onto the toes. Opening up into the chest. Keep the arms pressed forward. As you slowly drop yourself forward and come down into the high lunge. Try and lift that back knee. Keep the back leg as straight as you can. You can stay here if you want to challenge yourself, trying to reach the arms open to the side, finding the balance. And if you're still comfortable there, you can lift that front foot forward, trying to take the leg towards straight, holding the balance at the same time. Try and soften in that back ankle, bring the length to the calf. Good work. Okay, bringing your hands back to the sling. Draw yourself back, soften in the back knee, come down to swing and hang, then bring your knee up, place it through the sling, lift yourself, and take your right foot down the floor. Let the sling catch the left foot behind you. Okay, bring the elbows through, bring the whole body through to the front of the sling. With the palms facing up to the sky, take hold of the sling, bring your hands down towards your shoulders. Squeeze the elbows together in front and then slowly lift your foot behind, holding the balance, taking slackness to the sling above the hands. Feel the weight in the triceps as you lift your foot. Good, nice work. Let your foot slide back into the hammock. Take the hands up a little bit higher, lean forward, push that leg away behind. Come up into an assisted dancer pose, feeling the opening and the release through the shoulders, and feeling the length on that right thigh. Good work. Sit your way back, sit back onto your foot, and push up from the floor. Lift your toes from your mat. Find your balance there for a moment, and take a little run and hop to the top of the mat and release the arms from the sling. We're going to come down through a slow squat here. So reach the arms forward. Let the body start to fold. As you come down, straighten that back leg. Start to soften the front leg. Releasing down. Bringing your hands to the mat. Lifting that leg, tucking the toes under. Open up into the chest. Pull the heart forward. Keep your back leg as straight as you can. Stay high on the arms for a moment. And then as we push back, drop your elbows down to the floor. Keep the head lifted so you can see your fingernails. And just let the hips drop towards the ground. Feeling that release. Take a little bit of time to allow the release. Good, nice work. Pull yourself forward. Come back up onto your hands. Tuck the bottom toes under. Come up to three-legged down dog, the foot that's in the sling. Pull that as close to you as you can. And then try and hang from that top foot and lift the bottom foot off the mat. Yeah, bring the foot back to the floor. Bring the knee down to the mat. Bring the toenails to the mat. Push that back leg to straight again. Stay high on the arms this time as you sit back into it again. Good. Release your way forward. The foot that's on the floor, bring the toes down onto the mat. Lift yourself up into plank. If that feels like enough, you can stay there. If you feel comfortable and strong, then lift the hips up to the height of the shoulders. Lift your foot away from the floor. Bring it up to the height of the foot that's in the sling. Hold it there. Good. Slowly releasing. Bring the knee back to the mat. Bring your foot out of the sling. Open the knees to the side of the mat and push back. Come into full child's pose. Rest in the forehead to the floor. Rest in the tip of the nose to the mat. And just giving yourself a moment to recover. Allow the body to breathe as it needs to. Listen to the sound of the breath and feel the movement of the breath in the body. Reach your hands forward on the mat and slowly lift the upper body, come up to the top. You should come up just behind your sling, take a bind into the sling again. Take yourself forward, tuck the toes under, come to sit onto your feet. And then slowly pushing up, bring yourself up to the top. Release from the sling, stand back and arm's length away from the sling and bring the right foot up. Just the heel dropping into the sling, your foot that's on the floor. Remember, turn that heel open to the side, point the toes out the top of the mat. That top foot, push through the heel, pull the toes back towards you. Keep your heart lifted, keep the front of the body open as you slowly release your way down. Keep looking forward, looking to your foot, and endeavoring to pull your heart past your knee. When you get to the bottom, if there's room available, pull back on the sling and pull that straight leg into your hip. Good. Just spend a moment in the stretch, in the release. And then slowly walking your hands back up the sling, come up to the top. Stand up nice and straight. Take the left hand over to the right-hand side of the sling, pull the back of your hand against your sling, and open up the right arm, turn to the right, reach into the twist. When you're comfortable in the balance, then pull that front arm across the body, take the leg over to the left-hand side, and notice the change in the stretch as that small movement happens. Okay, releasing from the twist, hands back to the sling, pick your foot through, catch the sling behind your knee, push up high onto the left toes, and take the hands forward, slowly drop into it. Lift up through that back leg, feel that your back leg is straight. Find your comfort here in the balance, and when you're ready, open up the arms to the side. Good. Holding the balance to challenge yourself a little more. Look to try and straighten that front leg. And then notice that you automatically want to push off the back toes, so try and release into that back ankle. Let the stretch come to the calf. Okay, nice way. Bring the hands back to the sling. Soften in that back knee, hang down into the sling. Bring your knee just through, let the foot trail behind. Lift yourself and take the right foot down to the mat. Bring the elbows through, bring the body through. Adjust so that sling is supporting the foot. Palms up to the sky as you hold to the sling, squeeze the elbows together, and then lift your foot behind you, keeping the knees together. The lifting of the foot brings a stretch onto the front of the thigh. Again, notice the work in the triceps. And then soften the weight of the foot back into the sling. Let your hands slide up. Reach the heart forward and push that leg away behind. Opening up into the back bend, into the dancer. Good. Bring your foot back towards the body. Come up to the top. Sit back onto your foot. Lift your toes away from the mat. Find a little balance there. And then take a little run and a hop to the top of the mat. Release from the sling. Open the arms up with control, taking the arms forward, extending that leg away behind, starting to soften in the front leg, and bringing yourself down into that squat, and then the hands to the mat. Bring your knee down to the floor. As you push back, soften the elbows down to the mat. Be aware of pushing that back foot away, getting your leg as straight as you can, and then allowing the hips to drop towards the ground and bringing that length into the front of the hip. Good. Draw yourself forward, up onto your hands. Tuck the bottom toes under. Push back up into three-legged downward dog. The foot that's in the sling, pull that as close to the body as you can. Let your weight go up into the sling and try and lift that bottom foot clear of the floor. Hold yourself there. Good, then bring your foot back to the mat. Soften the knee down to the mat. Stay high on your arms this time as you extend that back leg back and slowly push your weight back. Sitting your hips down towards your foot. Arms are straight, gaze is lifted. Good. Bring yourself forward. Tuck the bottom toes under, lift up into plank. Try and take the hips up to the height of the shoulders so we're not arching into the back. Pull your foot into the sling and then lift the bottom foot. Come up to plank. Hold yourself there. And releasing slowly, bring your foot back to the mat. Knee down to the mat, bring the foot out of the sling. Once again, open the knees to the outer edges of the mat and push back, this time to extend the child's pose, keeping the arms forward on the mat. Exhaling your forehead and the tip of the nose to the mat. And then once again, just give the body time to breathe. Hear the sound of the breath. Feel the movement of the breath in the body. Lifting yourself forward, hands onto the mat, bring the knees together, sit back onto your haunches, reach up into your sling. So coming in from the front of the sling, take a double wrap around, hold up as high as you can on the sling, hold on tight, and then scoot your feet out to the side and come down to sit. Bring your legs around to the front. You should feel a good stretch through the arms. You should feel very light when you sit onto the earth. All the weight is up in the sling. Lift the chest forward, pull the toes back towards you, and once again look to lift that left foot to the height of the big toe on the right foot. And let's repeat that. 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 6, hold it up, push through the heel, pull the toes back towards you. Hold it there, check that you're not locking the breath out, keep breathing. And slowly soften, foot down to the floor. Lift into the chest again and then working to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 6, lift and hold. Good, keep pushing through the heel, keep putting the toes back. Don't lock the breath. Good, and soften, release down. Release your hands out the sling and just shake out. Good work, well done. Okay, palms together again, fingers pointing to the sky, lift the elbows, draw the wrists down towards the floor. Okay, nice work. Bring your legs back to a cross-legged position. Reach up into the sling. You can reach for a double bind if you want, taking it up nice and high. I look to do some pull-ups from here. So if you need to, you can use your feet on the floor. Look to press down into the floor, lift with the arms, bring your chin so it's just over the sling and release. If you can, you're welcome to keep the knees up, the feet up, lift and release. Okay, keep going. 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 6, look to hold yourself up there. Drop the feet to the floor. Come up to stand. Release the hands. And just take that little shake out to the fingers again. Okay, preparing for downward dog. If you come to the front of the mat so that you can see me, turning your back to the computer, open up the sling, bring the sling down onto the front of the hips, step forward with one foot, and then fold the body forward as you keep that sling on the hip, soften into that front knee, take your hands down to the mat, and then bring your legs back. Come down to hang, and then let the upper body drop a little lower. Turn the arms out to the side, the back of your hands facing up to the sky. And just take a moment to breathe. Starting to feel the sensations of being upside down. You're welcome at any time to go back up to the top if you need to. Just check in with how you're feeling, work with where you are today. Yeah, bring your knees towards your chest. Take a little bind around the knees. And then looking to stretch into those legs again. Bring the elbows to the inside of the knees. Reach down, bind to your big toes, and then extend the legs open to the side, keeping them clear of the mat, lifting the toes, and straightening the legs as best you can. Good. Release from your feet. Take your hands forward, lift the upper body, and bring the hands directly underneath the shoulders. Lift your feet to the height of the hips. So we're working with a flat back. Adjust the right hand to the middle of the mat, and then lift the left hand. Reach up into the twist, look up to that top hand. Hold it there. Yeah, bringing that top hand down to the center of the mat. Reaching the right hand up. Reach up and hold. And releasing slowly back down to the mat. Drop the upper body low. Turn the arms out to the side again. Rest for a moment. Let go of the weight of the shoulders and the arms. Let go of the weight of the legs. Turn your head from side to side and just feel the weight of the head drawing the length into the neck. And if you're familiar with the forward somersault out of the sling, then you can reach up, back of the hands to touch, fingers pointing up to the sky. Bring the feet through, lift the upper body, try and come down with as much control as you can. Place your feet onto the mat and reach the hands away. If you're not familiar with the forward somersault, then just step back out of the sling, take your bind, and push the hands away. Come into the forward fold. Let the head drop low. Relax into it. Let that blood flow back into the body. And then lifting slowly, come on up to the top. Release from the sling, shake out into the arms. Okay, standing next to the sling again. We're preparing the sling now for monkey, so we want to fold it into half. So if you just open it out, find the front edge and the back edge. Then bring the two edges together, hold them in one hand, and stroke down through that fabric to find where halfway is and open that up again. Okay, you're going to stand at the back of your mat and lift just your bum into the sling. Don't pull it through underneath the thighs. You want that crease line of the sling to be where the legs join the body. Slide your hands down your side of the sling and bring the gathering into the lower back. Hold on to the sling at hip height and then let yourself come back. You can take your hands up as you start to come down. Drop your head back so you can see me again. You're going to work a little bit of core work from here. So the idea is to straighten your legs, lift your chin to your chest, bring the head up a little, and then release from the sling with the arms. Take the arms out to straight, hold yourself there. Checking in with your breath, making sure that you're breathing. Bring the hands back onto the sling, lie back again so that you can see me. Bring the soles of your feet together so that your knees open to the outside of your hands. Continue lying back. Check that your knees are wider than your hands. Bring one foot around the outside of the sling, tuck it back in, and then the other leg around the outside of the sling, tuck it back in. You can tuck your toes around the sling, make you feel a little safer. And then when you're ready, let go of the arms, come down to hang. And again, just take a moment to get familiar with this position. If you're not feeling that great, take yourself up. Sit at the top for a moment, let the blood come back to the body, and then release yourself down again. Just remember the way up is through the front, so chin into the chest, look up, take your hands up to bind inside of your knees, unhook the feet, and then come up to sit. So whenever you feel you need to, please just take yourself up. Okay, reaching the arms out to the side, come to hang, let go of the weight of the arms, soles of the feet together or the toes tucked in wherever you feel comfortable and safest. And then bringing your hands onto the mat, walking away from me, so you're walking towards the back of your mat. Lift yourself up, so you're on your hands as if you were going to do a press up. Stick the hands down to your mat, let your chin fall through your arms, and drop the body back, so you're coming into a deep shoulder release. If at the bottom there's room to work with, you can crawl your fingers forward, and then just let the body hang. Feel that stretch coming all the way from the wrists, through the forearms, the upper arms, into the shoulders, through the chest, and into the belly. If you think you'll be okay with a little bit of movement, then draw yourself forward, Lift the arms, cross them on the chest, and just let the body swing backwards and forwards. Slowing yourself down, let your fingers drag across the mat. And when you come to still, place the hands onto the mat just for a little bit of support, and then gently rock the hips from side to side, getting that little twist into the spine. Okay, coming back to center, turning the arms out to the side, letting go of the weight of the arms again, letting go of the length into the neck, and noticing if you're squeezing the thighs towards each other and hugging into the sling. Try and relax the inner thighs, relax the legs. That will allow the lower back to release. Checking in with how you feel, and remember, at any time that you don't feel that great, simply lift yourself up, come up for a breather at the top. Okay, lifting ourselves slowly, look up to your feet, reach up with the hands, bind inside of your knees, unhook the feet, and then pull with the arms, bring yourself up to the top, hang forward into the sling, take a little bind around your knees, and just let the head drop forward. Be aware of the sensations in the body as the blood flows back into it. Okay, when you're ready, you can take a bind onto your sling. If you're familiar with a backward somersault, then come out through the backward somersault. If not, just take yourself forward down to the floor. If you're coming out through the somersault, look to find as much control as you can. Look down to the floor, and then slowly release the feet down and bring yourself up to upright. Okay, it's time for Shavasana. So coming to lie into the sling to rest. Open up the sling. Find the front and the back. I will run through doing a somersault into the sling, but if you're not ready for that just yet, then stand in the front of the sling, put your thumbs into the sling, and gather about 7 or 8 handfuls of fabric. And then when you sit into the sling, you'll be sitting into the middle of the sling, and then you can push the fabric away to your feet, bring it around your head, cross your arms on your chest, and come to lie in the hammock. If you want to try the forward somersault into the hammock, then open up the fabric. Okay, find the center point in the front. Hold on to that. You can let go of the back hand. What makes it easier is if you can get your foot into the sling so that when you turn around, you can use your foot as a lifting point to help the hips come through. So if you hold the front of the sling up high, and then from this side where I'm working, I'm going to kick my right foot into the sling, and then turn around to face the top of the mat. Bringing the top of the sling over my head, finding that center point, and opening the arms out to the side. Okay, then take the fabric so it's over your neck. You might have to hop back. You want to tuck your shoulders into the sling and push the arms up to the side. So your arms are straight, the fabric's tucked over your shoulders, you've got your foot in the sling at the back. Then take the chin into the chest, pull your foot into the sling, have a little hop off the ground, and do a forward somersault. And that'll bring you up into the sling. You can extend the legs away, bring the fabric over your head, take your arms across your chest, and just adjust. Find yourself comfortable in the sling. Come to listen to your breath, hear the sound of the body breathing. On your next in-breath, breathe it up to the top. Pause and hold for a moment. And then as you let the breath go, let all body weight go, knowing that the sling has you fully supported. It's safe for you to let go of all tension. Find your next in-breath. Breathe it up to the top. Pause at the top. And as this breath goes, let all facial tension leave with it. Relaxing the forehead and feeling that release run over the eyebrows, over the eyelids to the sides of the nose. And from the sides of the nose, the release runs down through the cheeks into the jaw. Lift the tip of your tongue against the palate. And then notice your breathing. Hear the sound of the breath. Soften and lengthen the breath so that it makes no noise. And soften and lengthen it some more so you can hardly feel any movement from the inhale, any movement from the exhale. Try and hold all your attention on your breathing and allow yourself to relax completely. Should your attention leave your breath, simply draw it back, bring it back to the breathing, try and hold it on the breath. Let your attention leave the breath, awaken the toes, awaken the fingers. Bring the hands together, stretch them out the top of the hammock above your head, pushing the hands as far away from the feet as you can, and pushing your feet as far away from your hands as you can. And then gently swing your hips from side to side, as if you were a fish swimming. Slow that movement down, come back to center. Take your hands up onto the sling, bring your knees to your chest, and then lift yourself, come up to sit, bring the hands to heart center. And just taking a moment here to thank yourself for taking this time to look after your body. A moment to thank your body for its amazing abilities. And a moment to remind yourself to find the joy in this day. Take a deep, tall inhale to the crown of the head, and as you exhale, tuck the chin to the chest. Slowly open your eyes. Namaste. Great work. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that. And please pop in again to find the next class. Thanks. Have a good day.